Empowering Women Everywhere. I am your host, Nan Gill, and today our guest is LindaCollins. She is an actress and a musician, and we're happy to have you here today.
Thank you. So nice to be here.
So you want to tell us a little bit about your music career and where you went to school and how you got interested in music?
Sure. Well, in my home, where I grew up as a child, there was no way to not be interested in music because one of my very first recollections and memories is my mother in the parlor playing piano, Beethoven, Chopin, and of course songs from church songs and singing. So there was music in our house constantly. So it wasn't like it wasn't even growing up and thinking, oh, I think I'll like be a performer or a musician. It was just like that's what it was. That's kind of who you were in that household.
Okay.
And so Mom, taught me to play piano, or I just learned watching my mom, and then went on to become a professional musician, and then.
Where did you study?
Okay, so I got my bachelor's from Duquesne University in Pittsburgh, and studied with the Pittsburgh Symphony, actually with David Mars, associate principal in the Pittsburgh Symphony. Then I got my master's degree at Northern Illinois University, just outside Chicago, between the cornfields and DeKalb.
Now in the symphony orchestra, what did you play?
I played French horn.
Okay.
For many, many years. I ended up in Winnipeg, Manitoba, in the Winnipeg Symphony. I was the associate principal horn there. I got actually appointed principal horn as I was leaving, and then I also played in several orchestras, but I'm just picking a couple that are some of my favorites. Naples Philharmonic in Naples, Florida. I was principal horn there. Actually, I left Winnipeg to go there because I was tired of being cold.
So, you picked something really hot.
Yeah, right.
A really warm place.
Oh, exactly. I was auditioning like in warm climates. It's like, oh no, but you should audition. So I was like, no, I'm auditioning someplace warm. So.
Okay. Well, how did you end up here?
Yeah. How did I end up here? Actually, I came here from it's circuitous, but I ended up coming up here because I had always been an activist for symphony musicians, and so I was doing union work as a negotiator for symphonic musicians, and then I ended up being offered a position in the international headquarters here as the dual role. I was a director of the international reps, the field services.
Okay.
And that group of people went throughout the country making sure that the locals were working well. And then I also was the executive assistant to the international president. So I traveled throughout the United States and Canada working on behalf of musicians that way.
Okay.
So that's why I came to New York.
And then you also play piano and organ, is that correct?
I do. And that, because I started playing that, like as a very, very young child. And I got to the point a few years back that it's actually when I started acting. And I just couldn't, and I was really focusing on acting. And I knew I wanted to really make this a career.
Okay.
And it just didn't fit for me to do the French horn and acting. It fit better to play piano, play organ, sing, direct, and do acting. And so that's what I ended up doing.
Okay. And you're actually playing organ right now, correct?
I am every Sunday morning, organ and piano and singing. So I do a praise band. So I play piano and sing and direct and orchestrate the music that we do in our band.
And where is that?
That's in Bridgewater, New Jersey. North Branch Reformed Church is the church. I'm a music director of music and worship arts there.
Have to come and hear you.
Oh, yeah, we have so much fun. We have a rockin' service on the second service. The first service is very traditional, and beautiful, and I play the organ and piano for that. We have choir, bell choir. It's a lot of fun.
And then you rock the second service.
And then we rock out on the second service.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So what made you decide that you wanted to be an actress more than a musician?
Well, and once again, I don't think I could live without either at this point. I would not want to have either one out. But I had started acting actually as a very young child in my home with my siblings, and then in high school I got the lead in the class play. I was in the Thespians Club, and I just happened to get the lead, and I realized I loved it. And since I hadn't really been focusing on it, it seemed like I had some kind of knack for it, because I got this role. And then I would have continued, I think, that route, except that I got so heavily into, French horn piano, and then I got my first symphonic job when I was very young, when I was 23, and then I moved to Winnipeg at, a very young age as well.
Right.
So it just kind of took over. But in Winnipeg, I did take a few acting lessons, actually, because I was always looking up at the stage, from the pit when we play for opera or for shows, and thinking, I kind of really wish I was up there, even though I love this, but
Yeah.
So it's
So
not.
you can do both. You don't have to limit yourself.
Yeah. Yes, I'm gonna say yes.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about where you studied acting and how you got started and some of the projects you've been in.
Well, my very first acting teacher in New York was Catherine Gaffigan, and she's just unfortunately she passed away a few years ago. But she was, probably silver climb thinking about her, such a wonderful person. But she was, she acted actually in a film, oh my gosh, I can't believe it, I have it on the tip of my tongue, with Dustin Hoffman years ago. The Journey of the Fifth Horse, I think it is. But anyway, she was also a Broadway actor, and
Okay.
so she toured and acted in New York, and then by the time I studied with her, she was teaching.
Right.
She had her own teaching studio, but she started me out with method acting, and I learned so much from her. And we had many one-on-one sessions, and I went on to start booking some television work.
Okay.
And then I just took classes at some of the New York places. So I studied with, I worked on Meisner technique, and
Right.
and then I worked on T. Schreiber. Went to T. Schreiber to do scene study with Terry Schreiber.
Okay.
And then lots of private coaching since then with various coaches. I go to casting workshops to learn, from casting directors, and at various places, one-on-one, Actors Connection, Actors Green Room.
Right.
So just busy trying to just learn it all.
If there's a young woman watching now, what advice would you give her if she's interested in going into the acting to become an actor?
Well, first of all, do it, because
Okay.
it's so rewarding. If you love it, do it. Whatever the profession brings you,
Right.
it will largely bring you what you give to it. And so just give everything that you've got to it. Find a place that you feel safe in, that you can feel safe as a student. Because there's all kinds of places out there, and some,
Right.
everyone's got a good fit. So you want to get a place where you have a tribe of people, for lack of a better word, that you're comfortable with, and coaches that you respond to whatever they're saying, that it resonates with you.
Right.
And with your own. But yeah, pursue your dreams for sure, I
Yeah.
would say. Yeah.
Don't just keep stuck in something that you're not interested in doing.
Absolutely, you don't know until you go out there and do
Right.
it.
We have one life. Let's live it.
Live it.
Yes, live
Yeah.
it. Okay. So, what kind of projects have you been in so far?
Well, I've done a fair amount of television shows with a lot of non-scripted and some scripted. There's a lot of crime shows out there on Investigation Discovery Channel, and that's kind of what I started doing when I first started acting. So I haven't been doing too many of those lately, but I've still been doing them. I did 3 last year, 3 shoots for that. So I've been a murdering mom. I've been a solve the murdering mom. I've been a girlfriend of a murderer. I've been a wife of a murderer. I've been, I've been murdered. Like I've done pretty much every character.
Aspect of that.
Yeah, and those are fun and they're great. It's great being on those sets. And I've met some fantastic directors and actors working in those shows, and have gotten some good footage, some that I have on my current reel. So it's definitely, there's definitely a great market for that. And I'm also doing quite a bit of indie film now.
Okay.
And so, you want to know some of those?
Sure.
Okay. So we have, I have in the festivals right now, Perception, which we just received Best International Film. It was filmed in Miami, but it's a dual language film.
How long is it?
It's 15 minutes.
Okay. So it's a short.
It's a short. Oh yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about that movie, Perception.
Okay, so Perception is a movie that it's a short. It's about 15 minutes. We filmed in Miami.
Okay.
It was just last year, last January, and it's a dual language film. Part of it's in Spanish, part of it's in English. It's about it's an immigration movie. It's about the plight of someone immigrating, a mother and her young daughter trying to immigrate.
Yeah.
And
very timely.
Mm-hmm. And the juxtaposition of that family with an American family that was, in this case, a white supremacist family, at least the dad and one of the sons, and then the other son and I ended up being not that. And so it's really a nice film. We're fortunate to just get a Best International Film, international/dual language film at Brightside Film Festival in Jersey City.
Terrific!
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And finalist for Best Concept there. And then in Omaha Latino Festival, we just won Best Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress. That was me. Yeah, the Supporting Actress was me. Best Internet. I'm afraid I'm not going to get them all, but I remember the actor ones. But we won five awards.
Wow.
Including the something else. It's not the actors. And we are, we've submitted to a few other festivals, so we're waiting to hear. We have nominations in Oklahoma, and waiting to hear. I was nominated for Best Supporting Actress there too, so we're waiting to hear on that. Yeah, I'm excited.
I want to see this.
I am very, very excited about that. That was the Omaha was my first Best Supporting Actress award, and so I'm very
congratulations.
Thank you. Very excited about it. Very grateful for that.
Yeah. And what other films are you having are you shooting anything right now?
Yeah, I am shooting a couple things right now. We have one thing I want to mention is the film that we shot. We did our principal photography a couple of years ago, and then we had to put it on hold because of some health issues with our team. But the name of the film is Mary Jane's Tribulations, and it's a mother-daughter relationship at its absolute worst. And the theme is suicide, so you can kind of go from there. It's a short.
Yeah.
And so we've just submitted about a week and a half ago for our first festival, so we're very excited about it.
Congratulations.
Waiting to hear on that, yeah. And I'm shooting a comedy series right now called I Fell Off a Cliff, and a drama called The Stable, both 21st Century Vision films here in New York. And so working on those, and have some other films in queue that are that we're shooting later this year. Do you want me to talk about those? Or?
Sure.
Okay. I'm in a feature as Mrs. Hoops, which is in a film called All Mobbed Up. It's a John Gallagher film, and a big budget film that I'm very, very excited about being on. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, excited about that. And playing a mob wife to Artie Pasquale's character. So, I just feel like I'm pinching myself. That's
Now,
it.
when you get a role like that, what do you do to prepare yourself?
Oh, any role I really well prepare myself for any role. So I will, using everything that I've been taught and, working with my coach as well, I will just find the character for me. So it's definitely not about lines. You have to know your lines, but it's finding the heart of that character and the
Right.
pulse of that and who that character is, like we all do, like all of us actors do. And so whether it's a small film, a big film, it's really true from my viewpoint. There are no small parts. Every
Right.
part is just as crucial.
Right, and it has to be fully developed.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what other films do you have in shows right now, in festivals?
We just finished a run with In My Eyes,
Okay.
and so that won several awards, and Three for the Road,
Oh, okay.
which we shot a couple of years ago with David Patrick Wilson, was the director and writer, and three of my best friends, Sandra Lucas, Eve Austin, and I got together and decided we wanted to do a film together. We reached out to David to ask him to work with us as our writer. Met with David several times and ended up with this very funny little short called Three for the Road.
Sounds like fun. Let's take a look.
Well, there's one all about the money.
Hi, I'm Liz. I am in the right place.
Always ready. Now it's three for the
Oh, am I late? I had to change in the car.
This is so exciting.
What, is this tantric yoga for beginners?
Let's get started.
Who's got time to dip or taste at this stage?
We couldn't have all called the same car.
What?
Well, hello there.
Famous. What about the money?
Wait a minute. Okay, ladies, let's go. We're all here to get something.
One who's always ready. It's three for the road.
That looks great. What's happening with it?
We've so far won Best Ensemble at Brightside Film Festival. We were finalists for Best TV Episode in Portland Comedy Film Festival. And we got a nomination for Best Ensemble at Hang On to Your Shorts as well.
Right.
And then we've submitted for several other festivals that we're waiting to hear from. We also were an official I couldn't think of the word, an official selection at several other film festivals as well.
Cool.
But those are the awards we've won so far.
And what's it about?
It's about three women that come together from really they're very different women. And what's really funny about that, even in and of itself, is that you've got three women that look very different, that behave very differently, that life is just very different on them. So you have these three very different women coming together from different points of life, because life has made each of them so different,
Right.
So that's an interesting angle already. And then they're each seeking some kind of enlightenment. Maybe it's they're at a turning point in their lives. Let's just say that.
Right.
And so they come together, and we don't really know exactly what's going to happen, because the short that we shot, also, like I said, won finalist for Best TV Episode in Portland. So it's actually like a
It's a half pilot.
it's a half pilot, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a half pilot because we still are yet to shoot the other half of the pilot. But it stands alone well because it's out there winning awards. But yeah, we want to shoot the other half of the actual full pilot,
Right.
and then that would be episode 1, I guess.
Okay, so what are you looking to put together to shoot that? Where are you at with that?
So we're just looking for funding
Okay.
to finish that off. We did the first half, and we're all
Ready for the second?
we are. We
Yeah,
are
so
ready.
you're looking for investment partners on that.
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So if anybody out there wants to invest in Three for the Road,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, then we can take this show on the road. That's right.
Okay, all right. And what's happening with your music?
Well, I maintain a position as Director of Music and Worship Arts at North Branch Reformed Church in Bridgewater, which I love, and so I write music as well in that genre. I usually and also I write other music as well. But as far as I just don't have the time to do a lot of work outside of what I currently do in music and all of my acting stuff. So I'm
Right.
not out there.
The acting is more or less taking up most of your time.
Yeah.
Do you sing as well?
Yes, I sing. Yeah, I'm a singer.
Okay.
So.
What's your favorite genre for music?
Oh, well, if you'd asked me that 15 years ago, it would have been classical, hands down. And I love classical music because that's what I trained in, and I love it. I love it. But I also love pop, just pop music. I love jazz. Always have loved jazz. And this new genre that I do a lot of work in is contemporary Christian, which there's radio stations that just do contemporary Christian, and it's like Christian pop. That's what
Okay,
it
is that what you mostly write? Is the Christian pop? or-
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Very cool. Now, I understand that your sister lives in Nashville. Did you live down there at one point in your career?
I did. I lived down there for about 10 years or so.
Okay.
And I still have a home there.
Okay.
And that's a whole nother story. It's a B&B now, so what are you going to do? So, but yeah, I worked in the music industry down there as a French horn player and as a piano player and as a music director. So everything I do now except the acting. I didn't do acting in Nashville because I wasn't pursuing that professionally at that point. But I worked in the studio, so I got to be on stage with Willie Nelson and Sheryl Crow at one point, CMA
wow.
Awards. That was cool. And did backups for several artists, Michael Smith, and others that. Garth Brooks. When Garth Brooks did a Chris Gaines album, do you remember that?
Yeah.
I was on that album.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You played piano or French horn?
That was French horn.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, were you down there when they had that tornado?
Oh, the one recently?
Yeah.
I just happened to be there. So I'm sitting there in my B&B, and I was actually submitting, I had like 3 hours of work. I was submitting films, and we just gotten ready to submit Mary Jane's for a few things. I was checking up on Three for the Road to see how we're doing, and then I turned the TV on. It's about 12:30 in the morning, Monday night, and I see on the screen the address of the B&B I'm at, like, said Georgia Avenue. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's not good. And then it said, in 4 minutes, the tornado will be going over West Nashville. And I was like, wow, that's probably not good. And then
Did you run down to the basement?
I did not. I was thinking
You're
about. So what am I gonna do here? And I wouldn't recommend doing what I did, which is sitting and thinking about what am I gonna do. But about the time I finished thinking about it, which was 4 minutes later, they said it was on its way.
And it missed you?
It missed me.
Oh, thank God.
But it was about a half a mile away, hovering above, in mist. And then, unfortunately, some people in Nashville and some businesses and homes
Were hit.
were hit.
Yeah.
Very, very badly. And so even one person having a loss there is terrible.
Yeah. Okay, so now let's get serious for a minute. When you get to be a big movie star,
Okay.
what are your plans and what's your passion?
Well, I will take care of my family, make sure everybody's good. And then I will still, honestly, I don't think I would do anything differently than I do right now because I love I love everything I do. I would have money to be able to give it to various charities such as St. Jude's. See, this brings me almost to tears. St. Jude's Hospital.
Yes, with the cancer for the children.
Yeah, because I lost both my parents to cancer. I'm a breast cancer survivor myself.
Yeah.
And actually, and the first role that I had in Jersey was as a breast cancer survivor on a PSA with Larry Rosen.
Okay.
But anyway, these children, it's unconscionable to me that they have cancer. So I would, and that's one specific charity I can think of that I would, help. Because how much money do you really need? You don't take it with you.
Right.
I'm happy with my life now, and it's just like a regular life,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want
That's
to.
the best kind. Not going out of your house and having everybody flashing cameras at you. Some people really like that. But
and you walk out your door and you get.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
no.
I just
The
want to
other-
do the art.
The other question I have for you is, did you find any difficulty or any challenges being a woman in pursuing the careers that you have?
Oh, you know what? When you said that, it made me think of something that I don't know if I should say on TV, as I'm sitting here and thinking about it. The short answer is yes. As a French horn player, there were definitely challenges coming up as a French horn player because it was a men's world,
Right.
a man's world, and it's a brass instrument player. And I ended up being a principal horn player, which, I remember saying to someone in my section once, because you were the head of the section,
Right.
And I was said, Linda, don't you want to do that a little more from one of the male members of my horn section? And I said, no, I want to do it exactly the way I did it, Yeah, so there's that. And then I went to one particular audition that I'm not, because that's how you get a job in a symphony orchestra. You go out on an audition out west somewhere, and I'm not going to name it, but I was in the finals, and you never know when you're in the finals what's going to happen. It's
Right.
like a callback, I guess, in the acting world, so the finals in the symphonic world. And I knew I did a really good job, and of course you never know. But then one of the people on the committee got back to me on the audition committee and said, really, we were looking for a drinking buddy. Yeah.
Oh.
And I had actually forgotten all about that because when anything goes wrong in my life, I think the reason I can be so optimistic is I just honestly forget about it within. Sometimes it takes a minute,
Yeah.
but I just don't dwell on anything like that.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
let
dwell
it
on
go.
anything. So
You
when
let
you
it
said,
go.
yeah,
Yeah, it just came back.
it just
Say
came back, and
Well,
it's kind of
you
funny
know.
when I think about it now.
It was a blessing that you didn't get that job.
Yes, because the job after that was actually Winnipeg, and I stayed there many years and was
Yeah.
very happy in that orchestra.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we want to thank you for coming and sharing all of your great stories, and we'll have to have you back again to find out what's happening and whether or not you got your funding that you're looking for
Oh,
Three for
yes.
the Road,
Yeah.
and where you are with your TV
Sounds
and
good.
all of your projects. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
We want to thank LindaCollins for her amazing story. See you next time.
I've been looking for